Get ready for a wild ride because today we're uncovering the juiced friendship fallouts to ever hit Judge Judy's courtroom. Our first case, betrayal, broken promises, and a BMW. BFFs turn frenemies face off when a luxury car ends up in a ditch. Who's at fault and what truly happened? Judge Judy is about to drop some truth bombs that'll leave you speechless.
Miss Gutierrez, you leased a car for Miss Medina.
Yes.
You leased it in your name?
Yes.
From whom?
From whom? From Honda.
Did you fill out an application?
Yes, I did.
Want to tell me why you leased this car?
Yes, Vanessa was currently living with me in 2017 with my parents, and she did not have a vehicle. I was her only form of transportation. I had my own vehicle, so I would be giving her car rides, driving her to and from work.
Hold up. We're not even a minute into this case and already there's a major red flag. Leasing a car for someone? That's some serious BFF commitment. But something tells me this generous gesture is going to backfire on Miss Gutierrez.
Why didn't she lease her own car?
I don't know. I think she had credit issues or she didn't.
No, that's not an answer.
She did not have money to buy a vehicle.
Money to buy a vehicle is not an issue. Giving a down payment is one thing. Leasing a car for somebody else. Now, did you have insurance?
I did.
Miss Gutierrez seems to jump to conclusions about Vanessa's credit. Judge Judy's not letting her off the hook that easily. This whole helping a friend in need story is starting to sound fishy. Why the secrecy?
You're suing her for two things that I can see here. One, she put too many miles on the car. And two, she got tickets when driving the car.
Yes.
Tickets are yours.
Yes.
How much were the tickets?
I have one that shows up and it's for $84.
What was that for?
A parking ticket at Manhattan Beach.
Time to tally up today's wallet hitters. First off, parking tickets in Manhattan Beach. Yikes, talk about a costly blunder. But hang tight, there's even more. Piling on the miles on that lease? Looks like someone took Joyride a little too literally.
When I leased the vehicle, I agreed to drive 12,000 miles per year for the vehicle. On September 15th of this year, the vehicle had 22,000 plus miles. I don't know where she was driving to.
I don't know either. She didn't sign a contract.
No,
you
I did.
10,000 miles over? That BMW is racking up miles like a jet. Now, Judge Judy weighs in. Contracts or contracts? Will Ms. Gutierrez pay for her friend's joyrides? Stay tuned.
She had a verbal agreement with me that she would use that vehicle, and it doesn't matter, like I have to pay for this car note now.
Listen to me, next time don't do it. If somebody doesn't have good enough credit to lease a car on their own, and if you lease it for them, then you're an idiot.
Idiot for helping someone that was in need at the time.
Yeah.
Talk about a friendship fail. Judge Judy isn't one to sugarcoat things, and her bluntness is exactly why we love her. Who knew a friendship could come with such a hefty price tag? This case is a cautionary tale for anyone who's ever blindly trusted a friend.
I mean, if I knew somebody had a history of having their cars repossessed, and I said, you know what, you can't get another car, so I'll take out the loan. You agree to pay the loan. They said, sure, I'll pay the loan. And you know that they have a track record of being unable or unwilling to make car payments, then you're an idiot. She owes you $84 for a ticket. That's her responsibility. Next.
I mean, I'm still trying to push.
$84, judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Judge Judy's final verdict hits hard. It's a brutal reminder that even with the best intentions, enabling someone's bad habits can end in disaster. Miss Gutierrez walked into this friendship with rose-colored glasses, but she's leaving with a hefty bill and a hard lesson learned. But here's the question for you viewers. Would you ever co-sign a lease for a friend? Or has this case made you think twice about mixing money and friendship? Hold on to your seats. Our next case is a powder keg. Two ex-friends clash in court over a beach day gone horribly wrong. One ends up with a wrecked car, the other with a bruised ego. Accusations are swirling, friendships have crumbled, and Judge Judy is ready to lay down the law.
You borrowed the defendant's car when?
August 22nd of 2018.
You were going to?
We were going to the beach.
You borrowed her car to go to the beach on 8/22/2018. What time of the day did you borrow it?
It had to be around like maybe 1 in the afternoon, between 12 and 1.
So you spent the afternoon together?
We did.
Did you catch that subtle shade thrown by Miss Pena when she called Marcy her so-called friend? This beach day seems more like a brewing storm than a relaxing getaway.
Who did you hand the car keys to?
Miss Pena.
Were you inside the house or outside the house when you gave her the car keys?
Parking lot.
Of your house?
Yes, I live in a complex. We're in the complex parking lot.
How did you get to the parking lot?
At the time, my car was like turning on and off, so I parked my car in her parking lot. She was like, well, you know, yeah.
Don't.
Okay. Sorry.
Those who babble usually are lying.
Okay.
Judge Judy's patience is on its last thread. She's slicing through the nonsense like a hot knife through butter. Meanwhile, Marcy's tripping over her words like she's walking a verbal tightrope. What's she hiding? Brace yourselves, Judge Judy's about to light the fuse to some courtroom fireworks.
She pulled out with the kids in the car.
She did.
And you?
Okay, and then I proceed to get in her vehicle that she let us borrow because...
Not let us, you.
Okay, let me borrow. Okay, got in the vehicle. We got out.
Then your fiance and you had to walk over to the car that you were borrowing.
Correct.
You had the keys in your hand.
Correct. Okay, I had the keys in my hand. I gave the keys to my fiance.
Without permission.
Miss Pena's casual disregard for the rules is raising eyebrows. Did she think Marcy wouldn't mind her fiancé driving, or was there something more sinister at play? Something tells me this beach trip is about to get even more dramatic.
Continued on the highway to go to Orchard Beach to meet Miss Oakley. My fiance was driving the vehicle.
Did you stop?
We didn't stop anywhere to get anything. We just drove. When we got to Orchard Beach, to the beach, there's a big parking lot there. But it's not like a parking lot where you pull in. It's like, you know, open. So there was a car behind her vehicle, okay, that had like a latch on it. It was like a truck or something.
Orchard Beach parking lot? This is where things get interesting. Did you catch that detail about the tow truck? It sounds like Miss Pena is setting the scene for a dramatic reveal. Is this where the accident happened? Let's find out.
It's a truck that had what on it?
Like a hook on it. It was like a tow truck.
Yes. You said to me a moment ago, that's not where the accident happened.
The accident didn't happen in her complex.
Where did the accident happen?
I don't know how it happened. It had to have been on the beach because when we got out of the beach, when we got there, we noticed the scratch.
Miss Pena seems awfully confused about where this alleged accident took place. First, it's not at the complex, then it's at the beach. Her memory is as foggy as a day at Orchard Beach. Judge Judy's not buying it. Something's not adding up here.
I see the damage to the car.
I have before photos, Your Honor, and after. I would like to present to you.
I'd like to
That's
see.
before and after. New from there, but there's an indention in the bumper where the whole bumper needs to be replaced. It's not just a scratch. It's like, say, if someone backed into a fire hydrant, the pictures don't do a good justice of how severe it is.
Okay.
And
Do you have an estimate to fix the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Finally, we get to see the damage, and Marcy pulls out all the stops to describe it. But is a $1,000 repair estimate enough to justify the drama we've seen so far?
Tell me about the necklace, this necklace business.
Before the car accident around about April. So there's a sauna in the gym. My daughter went to take off a necklace. I already locked my locker. So Jahira goes, give it to me. You know, no problem.
Not true.
She went to put the necklace in her bag. My daughter forgot to remind me to ask her back for it. So she was my friend. So I'm gonna think she'll give it back. It's no big deal.
It's nonsense. I don't want to hear about it.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any messier, a missing necklace gets thrown into the mix. Judge Judy might think it's nonsense, but we're all ears. Is this just a petty squabble or a sign of deeper issues between these former friends?
This big issue of us not being friends because her fiance assaulted me.
Not true. You attacked my fiance.
Were you there?
Did. What exactly? I wasn't there. Why are you attacking him when you already started?
I have nothing to say to you. I'm here
You don't
to
have
talk
anything
to
to
the
say
judge.
because you're a liar. You have 5 car accidents all year round. That's how your face looks when you were born, please.
This feud is sizzling like a hot grill at a beach barbecue. Accusations are zipping around like seagulls on a French fry frenzy. Who's fibbing here? And who throws babyface insults right out of the gate? Holy stroller, talk about cradle capers. Is this friendship toast, or can it weather this stormy spat?
Without her permission, you let your fiance drive the car.
You're right.
The car was not returned to her in the same condition as when she gave it to you. If it was the other car that was behind that hit you as they were pulling out of the parking lot, it doesn't matter. So you have to fix the car. That's it. And $1,000 to fix a bumper, to put on a new bumper. It is not an unreasonable amount of money.
Oh my gosh, Judge Judy is going off on Miss Pena. The poor woman is getting roasted. I mean, did her fiance hit that tow truck or not? Either way, it's her responsibility to fix the damage. Talk about a reality check. And then there's the whole necklace drama.
Tell me your first name.
Destiny.
Destiny, what kind of a necklace did you have?
It was like a chain, and then I had like a charm on it, and it was like a Saint Christopher charm.
Where did you get it from?
My mother.
Where did you buy it from?
Online, I purchased the pendant and the chain from a collectible jewelry store.
Okay, I'd like to see the receipts for both.
I'm sorry, I just have the exact necklace, and I have a picture of her with the necklace on.
This friendship drama is deeper than a magician's hat. Now it's a circus of lost jewelry, vanished receipts, and shady accusations. It's like playing Clue, but we're not looking for a killer in the library. We're on a wild chase for a missing necklace. Judge Judy's turned detective, and boy, are we itching to find out who done it.
Do you know, Miss Pena, where the necklace is?
I do not.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Judge Judy's verdict is in, and it's a clear win for Marcy. $1,000 for the car damage, no questions asked. But wait, what about the necklace? Judge Judy wasn't swayed by a few matching photos, and it seems the missing jewelry will remain a mystery. Next up, we've got a case which involves a quinceañera, a broken friendship, and a hefty sum of money. Get ready for a battle of wills as these two former friends duke it out over an alleged loan gone wrong. With accusations of betrayal and broken promises, Judge Judy will have to decide who's telling the truth and who's trying to pull a fast one.
You claim a loan to the defendant, who was a friend of yours, in the amount of $1,200. What was the loan for?
Her cousin was having a quinceañera and they needed help paying for the hall.
What is that?
It's more of like in a Hispanic culture thing. When you're 15, it's for the girls. It's like you're becoming a woman type thing.
And tell me why you made this loan to her.
So she called me when I was at work.
This web of relationships is getting complicated. Miss Gibbs seems genuinely invested in this family, but is that a good enough reason to loan out a significant amount of money? Judge Judy's skepticism is understandable.
Quinceañeras usually have people called madrinas and padrinos, and so they're people that like sponsor, so it's not just the parents paying for everything. So she told me that the person that was sponsoring the hall had backed out, and so in order to have the thing go on, that she was going to step in and help with the hall, and could I please loan her the $1,200?
This is shaping up to be the party of the century, but at what cost? Miss Gonzalez is scrambling to save the day, but is guilt-tripping her friend the best way to secure a loan? This whole situation screams financial drama.
This is for a cousin.
Correct.
Well, what did you get involved with paying for the hall about?
Well, I had already contributed towards the quinceañera.
How much did you contribute?
About $2,500.
Well, why would you call her?
Well, I called her to see if she wanted to contribute.
Why would she want to do that?
Well, because she's been part of the family for 20 plus years, and she lived with me before, and she's more than a family.
Is Jasmine trying to guilt-trip Miss Gibbs with the more than family card? Seems like a desperate attempt to dodge paying back a debt. Judge Judy's not falling for it, and neither should we. Friendship doesn't mean a free pass on financial responsibility.
How many people did you call?
2.
What's the other person's name?
My boyfriend, but he couldn't do it.
Why?
Because he has other things to pay.
What about her?
I wasn't thinking of all that when I asked her if she wanted to contribute.
about your cousin's birthday party.
Correct.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Wow, Jasmine's dodging responsibility faster than a quinceañera guest avoiding the dance floor. She blames everyone but herself for this financial mess. Judge Judy's. That's ridiculous is an understatement. Actions have consequences, and it's time for Jasmine to pay the piper.
She decided to contribute.
When did she ask you for the money back?
After the quinceañera,
Listen to me. Quinceañera was on what date?
November 25th.
And you asked her for this money in October. When did she ask you for the money back?
When her husband was left with no job. Like March.
So she said, I need my $1,200 back.
But I told her, the money that you contributed, I can't give you that.
Jasmine's trying to backpedal, claiming she never said loan, but Judge Judy's not letting her off the hook that easily. Who's telling the truth here? This he said, she said battle is heating up, and I can't wait to hear Miss Gibbs' side of the story.
When we spoke on the phone on October 12th, I told her I made it very clear that it was a loan and that I was going to need that money back. And I asked her when would she be paying me back, and she said on November 15th. Then when it comes time, we have the party, and she hadn't paid me back.
Finally, we're hearing Miss Gibbs' version of events. A loan with a clear repayment date? That sounds more like a business transaction than a friendly favor. But why would Jasmine agree to pay back the money before the party if it was just a contribution? This is getting juicy.
I still went to the party because I'm not going to hold that against everyone else. I didn't bring it up.
She did bring it up.
Oh, she did? Just shh. At the party?
Correct.
And what did she say?
She's like, oh, this is really extravagant. And she goes, if they're going to have something extravagant, why don't they have the funds to do it?
This quinceañera is turning into a real fiesta fiasco. Miss Gibbs is playing the martyr, attending the party despite the unpaid debt. Judge Judy seems to agree with Gibbs' remarks at the party. Maybe a lavish party wasn't the best idea when you're borrowing money from friends.
First of all, you've got a lot of nerve calling somebody who is not part of your family. $1,200 is a lot of money to somebody. I don't know what you do for a living. Do you work?
Not at the moment.
Who works?
My boyfriend.
You're a housewife now, and he works.
Correct.
Give it back the $1,200. Get it from the people that made the extravagant quinceañera. Goodbye.
Judge Judy drops the gavel and the verdict is in. Miss Gibbs gets her money back, and Jasmine's left with a lesson in financial responsibility. Judge Judy's not about to let someone guilt trip a friend into paying for a lavish party. This case is a reminder that even the closest friendships can be tested by money. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions. Our next case involves a broken friendship, a battle over a beloved dog, and accusations of manipulation. When a former couple turned friends can't agree on who gets custody of their furry companion.
Mr. Green, you and Miss Rubahan had a relationship for how many years?
We dated for probably 2 to 3 years.
Did you remain friends after you dated?
Yes.
Not intimate friends?
No.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Ms. Rubahan, there came a time when you went into a rehab program. For what?
All substances. I should say everything.
From lovers to friends? That's a tricky transition, and it seems like there's still some lingering tension between these two. And rehab for all substances. Sounds like Miss Repan has been through a lot. This case is already setting up to be a complex one.
And you have a child.
I have a child. She's 3.
So that child was born either right before you went into rehab?
Before I went to treatment.
Was she born addicted to
Yeah,
drugs?
she was born addicted to oxycodones.
Who took care of her?
My best friend, Christine, she was the foster mom.
And did she remain in foster care with your friend until you were released from rehab?
Yes.
Miss Repan's story is taking a heartbreaking turn. A child born addicted to drugs, placed in foster care. This case is about way more than just a disagreement between friends. You can feel the weight of her past struggles in the courtroom. How will this impact the rest of the case?
During what period of time did you live with Mr. Green?
I lived with him for 5 months, from September until February.
And he took you in after you were released from rehab?
No, that's not correct.
When did he take you in?
He took me in from September to February.
Well,
I went out of treatment
why?
years ago because I lost my apartment. We had cockroaches in this place I moved into, and he saved me from having to live there anymore. So I stayed with him until I got a new place, and that's what I did. It took me 5 months to find a new place to live.
Judge Judy's grilling Miss Repan like a top chef grilling a steak. This line of questioning is getting intense. Is Miss Repan dodging the truth, or is she just flustered? One thing's for sure, Judge Judy's not letting her off the hook that easily.
You took your daughter back from your friend without family court approval. They found out about it, and they removed her from you again.
Immediately.
And this time placed her with somebody else,
I didn't
not
know.
your friend, because they couldn't trust your friend not to give her back to you. Right. Now, all that happened within the last 2 years.
Holy moly. This custody battle just threw a wrench into the friendship fallout. Judge Judy's connecting the dots, and it's not looking good for Miss Repan. Could her past struggles be impacting her ability to care for her daughter? This case just got a whole lot more complicated.
Mr. Green says that you owe him for rent. I'm not so sure, because he took you in, he knew you had no place to go. I don't think that he expected initially you to pay him rent. Is that correct, Mr. Green?
That's right.
And I don't understand why this is even brought up, but I don't understand why he's even a drug addict and losing my child. That's good. That's got nothing to do with the case.
Judge Judy's cutting through the excuses like a samurai sword. Miss Repan playing the victim card, but it seems like Mr. Green wasn't exactly expecting a freeloader. The tension is rising, and it's clear that someone's not being entirely honest here.
When did she first come to live with you?
It's mid-June of 2017.
And she moved out in?
The end of February, yes.
And tell me the circumstances surrounding her leaving.
She had finally found a place to stay, which was good.
You're going to tell me what was going on there.
It turned into not my house. It turned out like she made it to look like her house. But my friends, my family did not come around anymore.
Mr. Green spilling the tea, and it's piping hot. Looks like Miss Repan was a bit of a house guest from hell. Taking over the space, pushing away friends and family? That's a recipe for disaster. This story is about to get even juicier.
You say that when the defendant left, she took your dog. Do you want to tell me about that altercation and the dog?
The dog is registered and I'm the owner. It shows that I've been the owner since 2015, I believe, on there.
And now we move on to the second bone of contention, the dog. Mr. Green is claiming ownership and he's got the paperwork to prove it, but what about the emotional connection? Does that factor into Judge Judy's decision? This custody battle is about to get rough.
Dog has been with you since 2015, about the same time that the defendant went into rehab.
Yes.
Okay, so before that, the dog lived with her. And when she came out of rehab, and the dog still lived with you.
Yes, I got a call from her mother stating that if I wanted the dog, because if I didn't, she was going to get it, take it to the pound.
Poor Molly. This pup is caught in the crossfire of a friendship gone wrong. Miss Repan's mom is getting involved, and it sounds like she was ready to take matters into her own hands. This case is full of twists and turns, and we need to hear what Mom has to say.
Heavily addicted to drugs.
Yes.
When she left the dog with you, did you have any other dogs?
Yes.
How many other dogs did you have?
One.
What kind of dog did you have?
A doxy.
And what kind of dog did your daughter have?
A pit bull.
And you called Mr. Green.
Yes.
I want to hear what you said to Mr. Green resulted in him taking Molly.
Yes.
So he didn't come and steal Molly from you.
No.
Judge Judy is bringing Miss Rebond's mom into the mix. It seems like the decision to leave Molly with Mr. Green wasn't as simple as we initially thought. But what did Miss Rebond's mom actually say to Mr. Green? Let's hear it from the source.
Molly had attacked my doxy.
And
I called Charlie up to let him know that I couldn't keep Molly. Yes, I would have had to put her somewhere else.
where else? Put her
Probably
in
a
boarding school?
No, probably a rescue.
A shelter?
Yes.
He said, no, I'll take her.
Yes.
Fine.
Boom. Judge Judy just dropped the mic on this dog custody battle. It seems like Mr. Green is the rightful owner, even if it was through a reluctant agreement. But wait, Miss Rebond isn't backing down without a fight. This case is far from over.
It happened at the end of February. There was an incident at my house that she was moving out. She came in and said, well, I'm going to take Molly. I said, no, you're not. And I've licensed it and taken care of it. It was an incident that she got physically, and I had to call the police.
Oh boy, a domestic violence call? This case just went from 0 to 100 real quick. Sounds like the fight for Molly turned physical. Miss Rebond's casual laugh is sending chills down my spine. Is she trying to downplay the seriousness of the situation? Judge Judy's definitely not amused.
Where was her 3-year-old all during this time?
The child was outside in the car.
Where was your daughter?
My daughter was with her daddy, and her daddy was sitting out in his car with his roommate, and so my daughter was sleeping in the car.
Your daughter
Sleeping in the car. We were in the house talking. We were in the house arguing. We weren't outside.
Your daughter was with her father.
Her father, yes.
A domestic dispute with a child present? This is a whole new level of parental irresponsibility. Arguing over a dog while a 3-year-old is left unattended? That's a major red flag. Judge Judy's clearly concerned, and we can't help but wonder if this incident reflects a larger pattern of neglect.
I'm going to try to be as plain spoken as I can. I know that it would be difficult to live with that kind of energy. Why you wanted to live with that kind of energy, I'm not sure.
Compassion? That's a convenient excuse, Mr. Green. Judge Judy's skepticism is radiating through the screen. Was Mr. Green truly being selfless? Or was there a hidden motive behind his generosity?
If I were you, Mr. Green, what I would do is say, I don't want the dog. I don't want any connection to her. Do you understand? I don't know who this waif is. Does she live with you?
She's living with me right now, but we are just friends.
Listen to me. Compassion is one thing, stupidity is another.
Judge Judy's throwing some serious shade. She's not buying Mr. Green's compassion excuse. Who's this mysterious waif living with him? And is it really just friendship, or is there more to this story? Judge Judy's hinting at some major foolishness here.
I know she's a person who has a child, lives with her.
Because it's kind of the same thing with the dog is happening to my child right now.
Ugh. Oh my God. You're all nuts. Okay.
Judge Judy's throwing shade faster than a cheetah chases its prey. You're all nuts, that's a classic Judge Judy zinger. But seriously, this love triangle is getting weirder by the second. Blue-eyed wife? A child caught in the middle? This case is more twisted than a pretzel.
I think that it's wise. If you want me to give you an order that you can go and retrieve Molly, I will do that. But that ties you to her because she's going to get erratic one day and come to your house. So I think that it would be stupid for you to go and get the dog. What do you want?
She's man's best friend, and that dog means a lot to me.
I'll give you an order to go get her. Do you want me to give you an order so you can get the dog back?
I want the dog back.
Man's best friend, indeed. Mr. Green's emotional plea for Molly tugs at our heartstrings. But is love enough to justify a court order? Judge Judy's decision is swift and decisive, but is it the right one? This case highlights the deep emotional bonds we form with our pets and how those bonds can become entangled in messy legal battles.
The next part of your case has to do with an assault, and that's the assault where she threw a dog dish at you and she went to hit you. You filed a police report.
Yes, I did.
And I'd like to see.
Well, that's a difficult deal.
Okay, so that you don't have a copy, and your counterclaim is for false arrest. So I want you to tell me what happened that you were at the house retrieving Molly.
Mr. Green lacks the police report, and Judge Judy hesitates to proceed without evidence. Is this a weakness in his case, or is Miss Rebond's counterclaim of false arrest just a desperate deflection? Let's hear her side to uncover the truth.
I just want you to tell
He
me.
chased me out of the house, and I said, well, I'm just going to take her now if you're not going to give her in a couple days. I had all my stuff was still inside. He freaked out, threw a fit. I can never go back there because of what he did.
Drama alert. Miss Raban's turning the tables on Mr. Green, accusing him of chasing her out. But can we trust her version of events? Her story is full of holes, and Judge Judy's skeptical look says it all. Is this a desperate attempt to win back Molly? The tension in the courtroom is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Do you have a trial?
No, I've not heard from the police since.
Did you ever go to court?
No.
Did you go to court?
Yes, I did.
Yes. And you got a dismissal. He wasn't there. Very good. Your counterclaim is dismissed.
He wasn't there because
this
there's
case
no
is
court.
resolved in the following way. I am preparing an order that allows you to go and get Molly. Execute it within 5 days.
My son's dog I've had since she was a puppy. My family's dog. She's 14. We've had her for 14 freaking years. She's almost dead.
Judge Judy's gavel slams down, and it's game over for Miss Raban. Molly's going home with Mr. Green, but at what cost? Miss Raban's breakdown in court reveals a deep emotional attachment to the dog, but Judge Judy isn't swayed by tears. This case is a stark reminder that even the most heartfelt pleas can't always win in the face of the law. And there you have it, folks, another day of drama and tough calls in Judge Judy's courtroom. We hope you found these cases as gripping as we did. If you enjoyed this wild ride through courtroom clashes and friendship dilemmas, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more juicy content, and share your thoughts in the comments below.